Sierra Fox is here. Oh my God. This woman is, I mean, does everybody watch her and go, why are you not a model? Like, honestly, I mean,
my gosh.
you are like as hot as Emily Ratajkowski, which I know is probably not the best way to start these like serious Keycard podcasts. But you're stunning.
You are so kind. Oh my gosh, Sarah. Thank you so much.
Okay, so
you are beautiful and hilarious. Like, I just love you.
Well, I'm a short package, a short and spicy package, you know?
Oh, spicy. Everyone needs a little spice in their life.
Everyone needs a little spice. But you know what? I'm horizontally limited. You know, myself and Jim Lokay. You know, we're not very tall people.
But I love Jim. Fun size. That's what you call it.
We are fun size. But how tall are you, by the way? Because you look, I mean, we'll talk about if you had a modeling career, but how tall are you?
I am 5'10". That's the height of all the Victoria's Secret models. So if they ever need a fill-in, you know, just let me know.
And you said people ask you that all the time, right? Is that one of the big things that viewers want to know?
Yeah, it is funny. People always ask about my race, like, what are you? And then they ask me, how tall are you? So I don't know what gives it away or makes them curious about that, but that's a question I get asked all the time.
I cannot believe you. What I love about you immediately is you don't seem to be that you get easily offended by things. Is that true?
No, I don't, because I feel like, I mean, with the things I get asked, you would get offended by everything. Like, you just got to let it go, you know?
Because one of the things
people don't mean it, you know, what they might just not understand or know. So I try not to take things personally, because then you'll stress out and be worried in life. You'll have wrinkles, look old, and I'm not trying to look old, you know?
Oh my
Stress
God.
will kill you.
You got a long way to go, and it is true. But people sometimes are just curious, right? And
Yeah.
they are genuinely curious because you have a very stunning, unique look. So
Oh, that is so nice. Thank you. I appreciate it.
well, you do. And so people do ask, what are you? And you are mixed race, right?
I am mixed. So my mom is Black and Mexican. So I'm a descendant of slaves and immigrants from Mexico. I'm actually the first person on my mom's side of the family to go to college. And I was the only person of color on my Division I lacrosse team in college. And then on the other hand, my dad is white. He went to the University of Michigan, very book smart, go blue. He loves sports. But, you know, interracial marriages weren't even legal until 1967 due to Loving versus Virginia. So without that, I don't even know if I'd be here today.
Oh my God, that's amazing. How did so your parents came from pretty different backgrounds, right? Your father, white, your mother was Mexican and Black. Is that what you, okay, Mexican and Black. How did the two of them meet?
Oh my gosh, it's actually a really cute story. They are high school sweethearts. They met in Lansing, Michigan. And I guess my dad saw my mom from behind. Somewhere she was walking around, and I guess he just approached her. And he was like, I guess he knew that she went to the rival high school, and he was the quarterback at a different high school. And he was like, hey, if my team beats yours, you have to pay for dinner. And if your team beats mine, then you have to pay for dinner, right? You know, like that, just being slick. So either way, they would go out on a date. And they met at the age of like 14, 15 years old. Can you imagine being with someone for that long?
No, I can't. All those years. So how many years have they been married?
They've been married. That is a great question, Sarah. Over 20.
Over 20 years. And did you grow up in Michigan? Where did you grow up?
Raleigh, North Carolina. I was born and raised there. Such a great place to live. I loved it. It's very diverse. A lot of people, when they meet me, they're like, oh, you don't have a Southern accent. But I'm like, not everyone who's from North Carolina has a Southern twang or charm, you know, but it was a great place to grow up.
So you grew up in Raleigh. And how many siblings do you have?
I have two brothers. I have a younger brother. His name is Grant, and he is actually at Radford University in graduate school. He's studying music therapy. I'm so proud of him. And then I have an older brother, Jonathan, and he was born with Down syndrome. He's nonverbal. So I think, you know, all these different elements of diversity have really just given me a unique perspective in life. And I think because of all of that, that's what keeps me very open-minded and just accepting and objective with my reporting. So I'm very thankful for it all.
Wow. Tell me what that was like, because, you know, sometimes when you have, and especially, you know, again, I think things have changed, you know, things continue to change so much, right? But growing up with John, who was your older brother who has Down syndrome, tell me what that was like with the family. Was it stressful? Was John super loving? Did you even know, you know, I mean, was it so natural you guys didn't even know he had, you know, Down syndrome? How did that all play out?
Yeah, well, he was born that way. And honestly, I've loved every minute of it because,
Mm.
due to him, I think about, going to Disney. And I think sometimes people see him. We got to be in the front row. So thanks, Jonathan. Because he was born with special needs. So sometimes there's some perks that comes with it. But at the same time, honestly, sometimes when you're out and about, people might stare because they don't know or they're not familiar. But I do have to say that a lot of times people are very kind. Like I remember we went on a recent trip to New York City and so many people, people in New York are in a rush. They don't play games. They're busy, hustle and bustle. But with Jonathan, people like wanted to make sure he was okay and like sought after him. They would get up to let him sit on the metro, little things like that. So I've been very thankful. I feel like in life that I feel like I've always looked out for my brother because I know a lot of families with, a sibling or a loved one with special needs, it doesn't always work out that way. And I'm very thankful that Jonathan, he's so loving. So
Oh.
loving. He loves hugs, kisses. He shows affection because, there are children with special needs. They can be violent or, they don't know how to act correctly in a certain, location. So no, he's been great. And like I said, I think he's made me the person I am today too. So we're like this.
Oh my God, that's so great. And you're right. What a wonderful perspective it brings to your life. And how was it for your parents? Was it stressful growing up, or it sounds like John was just always very loving and your parents, was so kind with him. Like how was that with your family dynamic?
Yeah, I think it actually really touches my parents sometimes when we're out and about and like they see the things people will do for Jonathan or the way they act around him. And so no, we've been very lucky with the way he is. And a lot of, children and people with Down syndrome, they have a lot of heart problems, but we're very lucky Jonathan's so healthy, knock on wood, but he hasn't had to go to the hospital or anything like that. He's very healthy. He loves to run, he loves to bowl. So no, everything's been good at home. I FaceTime my parents almost every day. And like Jonathan, he's always smiling from ear to ear. And it's just so interesting to see because in day-to-day life, people who are typical, they don't smile that much. They're down in the dumps and negative. And it seems like this young man who can't talk and is special, it seems like he would be the one down in the dumps, but he's so happy and he sees the joy in life. But at the end of the day, I think it comes down to love, and my family's definitely rich in love. We might not have all the money, but that's what it comes down to, and that can really help you. My parents have always been so supportive of me, and yeah, I think that really helps when you have a strong family.
I was going to say, yeah, you're very rich in other wonderful ways that have fostered you guys to have such a great family. So you grow up in North Carolina, and okay, did you ever model? I keep like pushing this, and then we'll move on. But did you ever think about that, or were you ever in pageants or anything?
Oh, that is another question I actually get all the time. People are like, "Are you a model?" or "You should be a model," or "Why are you modeling?" So that is so kind of people. I really appreciate it. And to be honest, I've never pushed for it. Now, like maybe I'm like, should I? Should I have? But growing up, sometimes I would do like maybe photo shoots just for fun, or I would do a school fashion show or like a business. I'd walk in, they see me, and they'd be like, "Hey, can you like do a little runway show for my business?" And so I would do things like that, but nothing serious and. So I don't know, but I do
Well,
love it. I love to take pictures and it's fun.
oh, well, your Instagram is amazing, but it seems like you love to dance way more than anything to do
Oh,
with modeling. So,
I love to
were
dance.
you always a dancer? Did you grow up, doing dance, or is that just something you've developed later on?
5, 6, 7, 8. Hey, Sarah. I love to dance. Everyone has their thing. Some people like to golf. Some people like to drink wine and beer. I love to dance. That is my thing. I've been dancing ever since I was 3. Ballet, jazz, tap, hip hop, you name it. I've done it. But after high school, I didn't take any classes or I really wasn't dancing at all. And so now, 10 years later, here in the nation's capital, there's just so many opportunities to dance. So I have been so happy to get back into it. And I dance with NBA, Wizards dancers, as well as the Washington football team ladies and men. So it's so cool to be around these professional dancers and they challenge me and their choreography is off the chain. So I
Now,
love it. I'm really happy.
when you say you dance with them, are you going to like Washington football games and dancing? Like, are we seeing you in the or did they have like a practice squad or something? And how do you practice with them?
That's a good question. Yeah, I'm not actually on the team with them or anything like that, but just classes. So there's like a lot of dance studios here, like Ava Dance Studio, as well as Certified. Jason Serta owns it, and they just have classes. And like the professionals, they got to keep their skills up to speed. So they go just to rehearse. And yeah, so I
Oh my
dance with
God.
them alongside them. And we do concept videos for fun all together. So that's awesome too.
So you go to college. Did you go to college in North Carolina or out of state?
Did.
You did.
Yep. Campbell University, a small private school in North Carolina, an hour south of Raleigh, Bowie's Creek.
Okay, Bowie's Creek down. And when did you decide, okay, I think I want to be in television or I want to be a journalist?
That is a great question. I know in high school, I did an internship for the city of Raleigh, and they kind of had me act like a reporter for them. And I was going out doing stories and turning packages and VOSOTs. And so I think that's when I was like, I really want to do this. And so in college, I played Division I lacrosse. And I did that freshman, sophomore, and junior year. And, playing a Division I sport, that's like a full-time job.
Oh,
And so I realized I was like, I didn't apply for any internships in news or do anything. I was just like intensely working out the summer after my freshman year, sophomore year. And then junior year, my dad was like, hey, you need to apply for an internship if you want to be a reporter. And so I applied and I worked at WNCN, which is a station in Raleigh. And then after that, I was like, man, like, I got to get more experience in the newsroom if I want to be a reporter. And so I applied for ABC 11. It's an owned and operated station in Raleigh, North Carolina. I grew up watching that station and I got a job there as a production assistant. And I had to make the tough decision. Do I take this job my senior year or do I, stay with lacrosse? And I ended up quitting lacrosse. I lost my scholarship and everything because
really?
I was like, I really want to, learn more about the news and how it operates. And that's the only way you get better. So yeah, my senior year, I did not play lacrosse and I worked at ABC 11. It was so worth it. After that, I graduated and I did an internship for Good Morning America. That was amazing. I was their only investigative intern. I was there for
What?
3 months living in New York City. Yep.
Okay, wait a minute. We got to backtrack and then I want to find out about GMA.
Okay.
So you're probably one of, I think, the only people so far on the Keycard podcast that was a Division I athlete in college. Tell people, but it is an incredible amount of work, right? It's year round.
It is.
And you probably don't even have time to study, right? What is so demanding? Just that you have to like work out, then you have practice, then you have like classwork for lacrosse. Like, tell us what it's like. I can't imagine being a college athlete.
Yeah, Monday through Friday. So I had classes early in the morning and then I had practice starting at 2 o'clock every day. And I was intensely working out for 4 or 5 hours. So we would be on the field doing running conditioning, sprints up and down the field. And, you have to make it in a certain amount of time. And if people didn't make it, the whole team's got to do it over again. So that's where I really learned accountability, right? And after that, after running, we do weights. After weights, we'd be, practicing our skills on the field, throwing the ball and catching and running through plays and things like that. So yeah, and I realized I was like, why have I never had like a crazy spring break or like done something fun in college? Just because I was playing Division I lacrosse and you can't do those things.
Do you regret that? Do you regret kind of not having maybe that typical college experience?
I don't because I learned a lot from playing Division I lacrosse. And yeah, I may have more time to like party and go out and stuff like that. But I think what I learned in lacrosse outweighs that. And it's more beneficial to what I do now. And just your life experiences are different. Like you said, it's not something everyone can say they've done. I'm the only one that's played Division I lacrosse or a sport in general on my side of the family. And so no, I think it's something that's pretty cool. So I don't regret it. But there are some things I'm like, man, wait, I've asked myself, like, wait, why didn't I have that experience? I'm like, well, I was intensely practicing or I had games. Also, I got to travel a lot. Like I got to go to San Francisco and different places due to playing lacrosse. So that's a perk as well.
Wow. I mean, what a tough decision, basically, your senior year. And I mean, just a testament to your work ethic. Then you get offered a job your senior year. I mean, that's pretty amazing. Most people don't. I mean, I had no idea. I had 0 offers. In senior year of college, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Okay, so then you end up getting this internship with investigative reporter for GMA. Now, who was like the head investigative reporter at the time?
Yeah, so I did a lot of research for all the correspondents, like Gio Benitez, for example. He does a
Okay.
lot of their investigative pieces. And so after that internship, I was like, man, I'm doing all the work for them. I want to do the work and present it. So that's what made me want to go out and get my first job as a reporter, which I did in Winchester, Virginia, in the Shenandoah Valley. So not too far
Shout
from
out
DC.
to Winchester. Yeah. So
Yeah.
when you're at GMA, what was like the biggest investigative story that you helped research?
Yeah, so I pitched a really cool story about, I don't know how I even came up with this. I'm just very curious. I was like, does the SPF in makeup and suntan lotion really work? And so they sent all these different products to like a lab because it's Good Morning America. They have the
The
resources
budget.
to do all of this. And they sent it, and then we got the products back, and then they did a whole production on it. Like I said, I was behind the scenes. I did all the research. I pitched it. I didn't like present it in any way, but it was still cool that an idea you had, they put together and put on air.
And so, by the way, did the products have SPF that worked or not really?
Okay, some of them didn't work as well as they promised. Yeah, I was like, I knew it. I was like, that's why I wanted to investigate this. I was like, there's no way that my foundation really is like protecting me from the sun too.
Great
Something just didn't add up.
freaking point. Oh my God. What brand? Do you remember what brand are we supposed to be buying?
I don't even remember because that was 4 years ago now.
4 years ago. God,
I
that's
need to
not.
look at the article.
I mean, that's pretty amazing. You have worked yourself up to a top 10 market basically within 4 years, right? Because I mean, within three, really, because you're in Winchester for what, a year, and then you're moved on to Richmond?
I did. Yep. And one thing at Good Morning America, I did get offered a position to stay there. And that was tough because it's New York City. As an associate producer, I thought about staying. But like I said, I was just like, I need to get that experience on air as a reporter. So that's why I left. But yeah, I was in Winchester for about a year and a half. And then I was in Richmond for a little over 2 years.
Now, did you work with Rob Desir?
No, I didn't.
Was
but
Rob
we knew each other?
Was he at a different, he was probably at a different station, right?
Yeah, he was at the
Desir.
#1 station there.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay, Rob. Okay, Rob.
I know, Rob. He was at the best station in Richmond.
So you're very young. You've obviously learned this business. How did you find out, or even hear? I mean, was it through an agent? Was it through, you do a search? Was it Fox 5? How did you get the gig at Fox 5?
Oh my gosh, I'm probably gonna cry talking about it.
Oh, cry. Oh my God, I'm so emotional because I just had a baby, so I'll start crying too.
Oh, I love that. I'm like, does it come with like, as you get older and older each year, like you just become more appreciative or emotional? I don't know. Anyway.
I don't know. Don't ask me. I'm an emotional wreck. Go on. Go
I
on.
love it. But what was the question again? How did I get my job at Fox 5?
Yes. And you said, I think I'm going to cry talking about it. So I'm curious.
Oh, yeah, that's because I just love Fox 5. But so I don't have an agent, actually. And I know a lot of people in the Washington, D.C. market do. Now, I've been approached by several, but I just didn't want to just sign with anyone. I'm still waiting it out. We'll see what happens. But for now, I got here without an agent. So I actually wasn't really looking for my next gig yet in Richmond. I still had 6 months until the end of my contract. But, your mentors and friends are pushing you. They're like, hey, you need to put yourself out there. So I had a reel on YouTube. And one Monday morning, I was like, let me put it on LinkedIn. I did. And then a miracle happened. My assistant news director at Fox 5, Kyle Carmine, he messaged me saying, hey, check your email. I messaged you. I checked my email. He wants to set up a time to talk. So we chat. 45 minutes later, at the end of the phone call, he says, let me know in 24 hours if you want the position.
In 24 hours?
I know. I was like, man, no one's ever told me 24 hours. I was like, okay.
That would have been, okay, were you stressed?
I called my parents right away and I was like, Mom and Dad, like I just talked to the assistant news director at Fox 5. Like he said, let him know in 24 hours. Does that mean like I got offered the position? And they're like, yes. They're like, you got to take it. It's Washington, D.C. And of course I talked to my mentors right away. And this is something I haven't like publicly said. People at the station know, and my parents and a couple mentors, but this position was freelance, but it was promised to be full-time hours, Monday through Friday, dayside, which is what it was, and just without the benefits. And so some mentors were like, you're worthy of a full-time position. Don't take that. The right thing will come for you. I was like, okay. And other people were like, no, take this opportunity. So that same day, I was so distracted at work that day because this was happening all of a sudden. I contacted a Fox 5 anchor. I contacted a Fox 5 reporter and photographer. I spoke with them. They're like, girl, this is not an opportunity you should pass up. So that same night, I call Kyle back. and I say, I want to work at Fox 5. I have never said yes to a job offer that quickly, but something just felt right in my heart. He didn't hesitate with me, so I didn't hesitate with him. And I'm going to be honest, I was talking to a lot of very great, powerful stations in Philly, LA, Miami, Raleigh, North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, Houston for both anchor and reporter roles. But something in my gut just said, take this. And like I said,
Wow.
I've never had that strong instinct like this. And one thing Kyle said to me, which I don't know if he knows this, but he said, I know you will shine here. And my favorite quote is never let anyone dull your sparkle. And so that really stuck with me
Oh,
when he said
wow.
that.
So you're basically saying Kyle is almost like a psychic, really. I mean,
He is.
our news directors is almost like intuitive, really.
He is. He really is. And
I
love
love
him
that.
and Paul so much. Like, I just can't thank them enough because 3 months after being a freelancer here, they approached me about the full-time position. And, it just shows like you do have to bet on yourself in life. And I'm going to admit it was a struggle. I had no money when I was moving here and I had to come here in 2 weeks and I didn't have time to come look for an apartment. So I have to say thank you so much to my angel mentor and coach, Deborah Alfarone. She let me stay with her in her home
Oh, she's
on a king
great.
size air mattress. And I was doing that for a full month. And without her, like, I don't know if I would have been able to come or I would have probably been living out of my car. Seriously. So people see the whole picture and the glamour and glitz of TV, but they don't really know the hard work and hustle and grind that it takes behind the scenes. And I think that's why I get so emotional about this because you just
Oh,
know what you went through to make it happen. And so I'm really excited and I just love Fox 5.
wow. It's interesting you say that because it's almost the theme of this season 2 of Keycard is really kind of everybody that's been on has revealed their struggle. And it is funny. It's like we look at you all, right? I mean, I look at you, I look at Tisha Lewis, I look at, everybody, right? Josh Rose, everyone that's on, Jeanette Reyes. I mean, Jeanette has an incredible story, backstory really opened up. And it's like, we see you guys and I just, if I was looking at you, I'd think, oh, she just has it all together and probably has had a really easy time in life and maybe came from like a really wealthy family. You know what I mean? It's weird how we make all these assumptions seeing you when in fact, I mean, just a year ago, 18, you were sleeping on a air mattress, with
Yeah.
no money moving here.
Nothing, seriously, nothing. And
Wow.
it's funny you say that because one of my friends at my first job, he was like, well, at least you don't look poor because my mom, she'll buy me nice outfits and stuff, thankfully. Like, that's how she supports me and helps me out. And, like you said, people will look at you and think something, but they don't really know what goes on behind the scenes. It wasn't easy, but I am thankful. Not everyone gets approached by, an assistant news director in a top 10 market, but you had to work hard. They're not just going to reach out to you if you don't have the work and
Yeah. Well, you
what they're
definitely have put the work in. I mean, and you have that it factor too. They see
thank
that.
you.
They see it. I mean, it's obvious. Some people have that. Some people work really hard. They craft it. But you have both combinations. But you also, first of all, I love your sense of humor. You have a great sense of humor. But you
Okay.
also seem to be incredibly positive. So where do you get your positivity from?
I have to say, I think it's definitely my mom,
Okay.
Maria Fox. Yeah, just growing up to see how she can just walk in a room and she literally lights it up. She talks to everyone. She's very bubbly, personable, social. But at the same time, I think it does just come from within. And, you know, where does it come from? I don't know. I really just don't think there's so many beautiful things in life than to be sad and down, and if you think like that negatively, then it's going to ruin your outlook and your day to day. And you have to choose happiness.
You do. You really do. I mean, that's the biggest thing, right? You have to make a conscious choice to look at the positive and be positive because we are inundated a lot of times with negative things or people want you to be unhappy, because misery loves company, to some extent.
Yeah.
But is there anything that gets you down? I mean, a lot of people watch the news and they won't watch it because they feel like it's depressing. And a lot of times, I watch you're out reporting on very serious things. I mean, did those get you down or how do you, that's an interesting balance.
It is. And I feel like I have compassion. Like, obviously, when sad things happen, murders or shootings, like, in the moment, of course, it's sad, but I guess at the end of the day, I know I'm there to report on the news. And of course, you're sensing to other people's feelings or a family that you're speaking with, but you do have to separate bringing that stuff home or else you'll be down in the dumps all the time. So I think that's why, outlets like dancing and FaceTiming my family and things like that really come in, because I think the key with me, I've realized in life, I've always been very involved. I like to do a lot of different things. And when you're keeping yourself busy, you don't have time to be down or thinking about it,
True.
right? Like if you're in a corner in a room by yourself,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
sitting there, you have time to like dwell on the negative, right? So I think just keeping myself out and about is really helpful.
So what is your title now? Okay, you take this freelance job and then you're promoted to full time. So what is Sierra Fox's title now?
I am a reporter.
Yay! Report. I love it.
Yes.
What is your favorite type of story to report on? Like, is there one
Oh,
that gets you, what is that?
yes. I love viewer advocacy stories where I can help a person who may not have gotten help otherwise. Also, I just love bizarre stories. Like 2 days ago, I did a story about a fire truck that was stolen, and this is not funny, but it's just something you don't hear every day. Like, who
No.
steals a fire truck? Like, that's so noticeable, and they're obviously going to catch you. And then yesterday, I did a story about how catalytic converters have gone stolen and missing from auto repair shops and hotel parking lots. And there was, cool surveillance video of people stealing it. And obviously, like I said, we don't want things like this to happen. But whenever there's really good video or just something that you don't hear about often, I like telling those types of stories. And those are the ones that people react to the most.
Okay, we need follow up on this. So did the fire truck guy, whoever stole the fire truck, did they get caught?
They did. Yep, it was a 24-year-old, and allegedly he is a volunteer firefighter.
No. What
And
is a moron? Okay, so he does that. But what if these catalytic, what are they called?
Catalytic converters, yeah, it's underneath your car. And also, I think why I got into the story too is because I actually got to hold one in my live shot. So I just really like whenever I can be active, whenever there's like a scene or something to show and tell. I just love being live. That's my favorite thing about being a reporter.
Yes. Okay. Well, you've already had a pretty amazing career, and a lot of people on these podcast episodes have had amazing careers. What is like the ultimate goal? I mean, do you ultimately want to like run Dateline? I mean, I see you on 2020 just being like tonight,
Really?
air
Ooh.
fresheners causing infertility. I mean, I just what is or are you happy where you are?
I mean, I just got here, so I've only been here 1 year. I am so happy at Fox 5, and it does feel like home, to be honest, but at the same time, I know you never know what other opportunities may come up in life, so I'm just kind of going with the ride. That's what I did to get here. I just kind of kept my, mind open and went with the flow, so we'll see what happens, but you never know. But I do love Fox 5.
I know you're having a ball. And did you start in the pandemic or like right before the pandemic?
I did. I started in the pandemic, November 18th. So my
Wow.
1 year is next week.
Wow, 1 year anniversary for Sierra Fox.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay,
Wow.
so I think you're one of the most eligible bachelorettes at Fox. If we were if we were doing the Bachelorette here, you are. So what's your most of the people that have been on are married, ironically to other news people. But what's your status? You're single?
If you like it, then you should have put a ring. I am single and ready to mingle, Sarah. Hey, just kidding.
Girl, I wish I knew anyone that was decent. I mean, but you're single, right? And
I am single.
and then you're
I am
trying to
single.
date in the pandemic, not to mention you're a public figure. So how's that going?
Oh my goodness, Sarah, you just assume I'm trying to date? Okay, I guess I mean, I don't know. I haven't really been out that much here due to the pandemic. Like things just started opening up in May, June. And to be honest, I'm just really focused on my career right now. You're probably like, oh, this is such a boring answer. But I really am. And being single is just kind of a choice. Like I probably could look at my DMs and stuff and maybe message a few people back. But I don't know. You just kind of get a gut instinct and you know if you like someone. I feel like I'll meet that person in person. I don't do dating apps. I'm not on them. But guess what? So when I
Really?
first started here, this guy messaged my work email with a screenshot of me on Tinder. And he was like, I just want to make sure this is you before we officially meet. If so, I can't wait for dinner at 7 Wednesday night.
So you were being catfish? Like someone was using your
Yes.
image as catfish.
Yeah, and I was like, why would someone do that? But
Oh, the
yeah,
poor
and I messaged him
guy.
back. I was like, oh my God, please report that page. That is not me. I was like, you're about to get catfish. So I guess I might have some account out there, but I hope it was deleted. But
And what
I'm
was
not
his
on
deal? Was he
that.
hot? Were you like, oh, you know what? You're not bad. All
He
right, I will
actually
meet you.
wasn't bad, but I
You're like,
like, maybe
but
I should do this.
I might meet you out. This is good.
Yeah, maybe eventually. But
Okay, so
I
not
didn't take him up on it.
nothing exciting. No good dating stories yet in DC. You just wait.
Yeah, I don't. I will definitely let you know when I do, but
There
I
will
don't.
be.
Where do I go?
Oh
Where
my
do I
God,
meet
anywhere in
people?
Arlington, please.
Oh, Arlington?
It's
Okay.
it's just you have a difficult. I always think in our jobs it's so hard, right? Because we're always working off hours. Like, what time do you have to go to
Yes.
work?
So I have to go and I have my morning meeting at 9:30, and then I get off technically at 6:30. But you're right. Like, I feel like the few times I have maybe made plans after work, there's breaking news or something and I have to cancel. So now I don't make any plans after work. No matter what it is, I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't do anything Monday through Friday after 6:30. If I can show up, I'll let you know last minute, but that's just how it is. The
It's
news business.
so hard in our business. That's why I feel like so many people end up marrying or meeting somebody within our industry because then that person sort of understands it. But no, give
Exactly.
yourself time. Hit Arlington and see what happens.
Ooh, Arlington. Okay. It is the fifth wealthiest county in the country.
A-Town is a
A lot of nice
blast.
cars around here.
What's that?
A lot of people have nice cars around here.
They do, right? Yes, it's a very affluent area, and you're a hot ticket. You'll have no problems when you get
Oh,
time to go out.
yes. Where are the spots? Clarendon Ballroom? That's the only place I've heard.
Really? No, I think they're like, have they reopened as like a nightclub?
They have. Yeah.
Okay, well, Spider Kelly's used to be a scene, back in the day.
Okay.
Don Tito is great. Have you been to their
Oh,
rooftop?
I haven't yet.
Okay,
No.
okay. We could do a whole Sierra Fox dating game.
Ooh, okay. I'm excited.
You're like, yeah, okay, great. Okay, so tell us too. Like, we know that you dance, right? And you show a lot of that on Instagram. But what other things? Because you said you love to have a lot of hobbies and interests. So what other things are you into?
I love to eat. That's what I do.
Really?
I'm always at a restaurant. I love to eat out. It's actually a problem. I could probably save so much money if I did not eat out. I eat out way too much, Sarah. I don't know
Really?
if that's a hobby, but it's something that really makes me happy. Like, I don't eat to live, I live to eat.
Now, wait. Do you have some favorite spots in DC yet, or do you have a favorite
Oh
food?
my gosh. I do, but there's so many. I have a long list. I can't even remember them all. There are just so many great places here. You could go to a different place every day.
I know. It's such a great food scene now in the area.
Yes.
And do you cook?
Maybe that's why I'm single. Just kidding. I can cook the basics. I can cook a little bit. I really don't cook like I should, Sarah, to be honest.
Oh, well, you don't have to. I mean, you don't have time, but I just wondered, like, as a foodie, if that's like an escape for
I
you.
do though. Like when I was in Richmond, I actually cooked a lot more. And I do love to cook, but here, yeah, I think I've gotten lazy and there's so many great places to eat. And so I eat out, like I said, way too much. Way too much.
As you
I
should.
eat breakfast at home though, like oatmeal or eggs. Like I'll make a little something, but then the rest of the day I'm out.
So you've been pretty driven from a very young age. I mean, college as a Division I athlete, and then going right into news. What's been the most difficult part, do you think, that you're either still learning, or or maybe that you've overcome? What's been the hardest part about your career?
Yeah, I think something that I'm trying to work on right now is just not being so tough on yourself and to give yourself grace. And I think Fox 5 has actually really helped me with that because here they're all about just being you, be your authentic self. And, if you stumble over a word or say something, it doesn't mean the live shot was bad. Like sometimes those are your best live shots. So not everything has to be so strategic and perfect all the time because I'm such a perfectionist, which I know a lot of us are, but you can't tear yourself down. And I think the moments when I put so much pressure on myself, that's when I don't do as well. And then the times that I'm not thinking so much about it, those are the best ones when people are like, you did a great job. But then I'm over here thinking, I don't think that was as good. So that's something I'm just personally just trying to work on. I've always kind of been like that in life, just very tough on myself. So I need to relax. So whoever I date, they got to be able to make me laugh.
Okay, you might be in the
I can
wrong
go
city for
out.
that. I feel like everybody here is very like type A. You know, they're like
Yeah.
such achievers, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
it is kind of hard. That's great. I think that's such a good thing to talk about because especially for women, I think you know,
Mhm.
how do you find because you've worked in obviously New York, now you're working in a top 10 market.
Mhm.
I mean, I think for women it is a little bit harder than men, like the pressure that we put on ourselves. Do you notice that like even, you know, against some of your male peers like they seem to be, you know, better at just like putting themselves out there or not caring so much?
You know, I have to say, actually, lately I've had a couple conversations with reporters, men, and they actually kind of struggle with the same thing, but I think they just trust me to be able to talk about it.
Mm.
But they do put on a persona. Like you wouldn't think that though. But it's interesting. A lot of them, they're like, man, and a couple of them have said, man, I'm trying to be like you and have your confidence. And it's so funny because, I'm like, well, I'm hard on myself too. And, it just goes to show, someone that you might look up to or idolize or you view them as a role model, like everyone has something and everyone struggles with being hard on themselves or noticing little things. And I realize those little things, sometimes other people don't even notice. It's just you like nitpicking at yourself. So I think overwhelmingly a majority of the time, yes, maybe men can come across a certain way or, maybe like things don't bother them, but some deep down, they have the same, feelings and thoughts sometimes as women, but they're just not as maybe expressive about it. But I've actually had a couple deep conversations with some reporter men on air. Yeah.
Wow. Well, gosh, people, I mean, that is your easy personality that people feel safe with you to say that. And that's fascinating about our industry because our industry it's a tough business. I mean,
It is.
in lots of ways it is about your intelligence and your, how you can make connections and interview people, but then it's also about your looks and then it's all, it's a lot of different things. And what about, have you encountered any, like, whether it was in college as an athlete, what about jealousy from other people? I mean, because
Uh,
have you had a lot of it?
I hate the word jealous, but it is what it is, right? Like it is jealousy, right? A lot of times,
Yeah.
unfortunately. And there's that quote, those who are below you, those, what is that quote? Um,
Oh God, I don't even know.
those who are below you are already trying to bring, I don't know. Anyway.
Basically, people below you are always going to try to bring you down. That's basically the quote.
Exactly. That's basically the quote.
All right, well, reveal
Well,
it because you have to have had some very jealous people of you, I would think, and your success very young, very quick.
oh, yeah. Well, it's unfortunate though that people feel like that, and it's more of a reflection of them than you. So I try to remind myself that because it can get you down and it is hurtful when people try to bring you down for no reason and nitpick anything. You're like, why are you doing this? But then you have to realize they're not happy. It has really nothing to do with you. Maybe, like you said, they want to be in your shoes or doing something that you're doing. Even close friends or people, I've considered maybe close friends in the past have said things I'm like, that's a red flag. Like that's actually not someone who's a good friend. And in college, I experienced it all the time. Yeah, with like my team.
Really, with your own teammates?
Yeah.
And what were they? Okay, what are some of the things that people have said to you? I'm sure we'd be surprised. What are some of the things over the years that people have said?
Well, it's funny. It's happened ever since I was little. Here's the thing. People like might laugh at this, but I feel like it's still bullying. Like ever since I was little, people would try to maybe exclude me. They're like, "Oh, you're little Miss Perfect." And okay, and that's technically a compliment, right? Like you
Mm.
have to look at it like that, but people it's a nice thing to say, but they're saying it in an ugly way. And then in college specifically, sometimes people, because I was the only person of color on my team, they would try to say things about race. And it's funny because these girls were trying to get spray tans to get darker, but then they were making fun of me because of my skin color, saying things like, oh, are you wearing sunscreen today at practice because you're black? And I was like, actually, if I was to wear it because of any one of my races, it'd probably be because I'm white. So then my skin doesn't, get burned.
And hello, everybody of every color has to wear like sunscreen. Really?
Exactly.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So like a lot, and that's just one small comment, but it's almost like people really have nothing else to say. So they just try to attack something with a look. That's really nothing.
Damn. I mean, and that again, I think is a testament to your personality that you haven't, I don't know, become bitter or angry about those things. I mean, you seem to just keep going and keep that attitude.
Here's the quote: people who try to bring you down are already below you. There we go.
We got it.
Finally came in my head. But yeah, no, people try to tear me down all the time. And I actually just kind of learned to laugh at it, Sarah.
You have to. You have to. And it says something about them. And for whatever reason, I think because of social media, we're very much in this space where, I don't know, people they're happy for you to be successful to a certain extent, but then they want to take you down. And, people online are very unhappy where they want to be doing what you're doing, and they could be, but instead they find it easier to tear you down. It's very strange.
Yeah, my mom has always said that people want to see you do good, but never better than them. And I've seen that more and more. And she also says this quote: if you have one true friend in life, you are lucky. And each year I notice that more and more too, because I'm like, do I really have any good friends? I mean, I have. I do have a few close friends.
But my grandmother would always say the same thing. She would say you the number of close friends you have is the number of thumbs you have. It's like two, really. If you have two dear, true, I mean, that are ride or die for you, right? I mean, that will show up for you at 3 a.m. I mean, that's really all you can expect. You have a lot of acquaintances in life as life goes on. Yes. A lot of people, and some wish you well, but they're not close to you, and all that. But yes, that's so brave of you to say, because I bet you've experienced a lot of jealousy. And then to still get up and be positive. And what I think is amazing about you is you root for other people, which is great. And a lot of people don't do that either.
And that's the thing. Like, when I see someone being successful or doing something, like you said, I'm like genuinely happy. And for me, it's almost like inspiration and motivation. Yeah. But most people don't view other people's successes like that. And I think that's something that's helped me in life. I don't know. Like I said, I grew up with a supportive family. So that's what I'm used to. When someone's doing something well, you cheer them on or give them a compliment. Like, to me, that's normal. And I've noticed, even being here, sometimes when I say nice things to people, they like look for a second and they're like, oh, thank you. I didn't even think you would notice that. So I think sometimes people aren't used to being complimented or praised or recognized.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's easy in life to become jaded for a lot of people, if things don't go exactly the way they want. But I'm a big believer. I don't know. I think if you put your intention out there and you stay focused, and it might not be exactly how you want it, but the universe will work with you. I'm a big proponent of that, Like, it all works out.
Exactly. We all want kindness, right? Like, we all want love and be nice to each other. So it seems simple, but like you said, everyone has something, and everyone's life circumstances are different. So I try to keep that in mind too.
Well, and to have an awesome sense of humor like you do. I mean, I love you. This has just made me appreciate your sense of humor even more. I mean,
what is my sense of humor? Because you're the comedian.
Your sense of humor is recognized. I mean, I adored when you said, my brother John, who you love so much, who has Down syndrome, you love him because you get to go to the front row of lines at Disney. I mean, that's right there. It's like, what a beautiful... Loving him so much and how he has given you so many great gifts, but also recognizing it's like, well, we're going to the front of the line. Thanks, John.
Thanks, Jonathan. I appreciate you. Being special isn't all bad.
That is the greatest sense of humor. I love that. All right, I want to do rapid fire with you of questions. Okay. Tell me the best meal you've ever eaten. Best restaurant, best meal. You have to name something. You can't plead the fifth. We ain't Andy Cohen here.
Oh my gosh, Sarah, I have so many places. Okay, I feel like I have to go with my abuela. She learned to cook from scratch, like at a very young age. And her food is always amazing, but I love her tostadas and tole, which is like oatmeal in the morning. So anything my abuela makes, I have to give it to her.
All right, dream man. If you could marry anybody, what's your deal? Are you into short guys, tall guys?
Oh my God, the short guys are the ones who love me, and I'm like, you come up to you. Why do you want me?
Girl, you got to find yourself a Tom Brady. I mean, or a Gronk. I mean, you need somebody 6'5", 6'7", girl. You're 5'10". Tell us your dream man.
A dream, like describe him?
Yeah. Or is there a celebrity equivalent?
I do like Shamar Moore.
Shamar Moore. Okay, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. But I don't have a type though. Like, I'm kind of open. Like, I like all races. Just someone who's tall, handsome.
Okay.
And funny.
The last time that something embarrassing happened to you.
Ooh, When I was doing a live report outside the Washington football team, I was talking live on air. I was like, yeah, they have cornball. Oh, I mean cornhole. I don't know. That was just kind of a little bit embarrassing.
Oh, that's not even bad. Yeah, you're really good. Okay, that's great. I mean, I've gone on air with a full chemical peel, my face peeling off. I mean,
Really?
okay. Oh, well, they're used to it.
No one told you?
No, I just don't even care. I mean, I think they're looking at me like, how the hell are we putting this woman back on air?
Like,
But
Sarah.
they're just used to my craziness. What's your favorite cocktail? What will we find you drinking at Don Tito in Arlington?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so here's the thing. I actually don't like the taste of alcohol.
Really? You smoke weed instead?
No, I don't. I've never done any drugs in my life, actually. I'm high off life. Hey.
I can see that. You're I'm sure you don't. And I mean, no one's going to admit they smoke weed on this
Sarah,
podcast.
I actually need your help. I don't know what my favorite drink is because I don't like the taste of alcohol. Whenever I go somewhere, if I do have like a social drink, I always ask like whatever is the most fruitiest.
You're not a wine drinker at all.
No, like I don't drink anything. I love sweet tea. That's my drink. I love sweet tea, iced chai, and matcha.
Those are your drinks, huh?
Yeah, those are my drinks. Now, if I do go, there's a Starburst shot that I do like.
Okay.
It tastes like a Starburst candy and it's fruity. It doesn't even taste like alcohol. That can be dangerous. So if I want to like loosen up, be out with my friends, I'll be like, okay, just give me one of those. I'll be good.
Okay, last question. So Sierra Fox, where are you going to be? What are you going to be doing in 5 years?
In 5 years? What am I going to be doing? Hopefully another podcast with you, right? That'd be fun.
Keycard
Maybe
season
we'll have our
8.
own show together, Sarah.
Girl,
The
I am
Sarah
so...
and Sierra show.
Oh my God. I mean, please, could you imagine? That would be so great. We'll
That
go...
would be hilarious.
We'll dance, we'll get drunk, and then we'll find you a date. Like,
Great, perfect. I love it. So in 5 years, I mean, I love that idea, but you know, I could still be here at Fox 5 if they still love me here.
Absolutely.
Want me to stay, or who knows? I have no idea. I love Washington, D.C.
Do you have any set goals? Like, do you want to buy a house? Do you want to buy a certain car? Do you want to have a child by a certain age? I mean, not that these things like all work out, but like you're a very driven person. And some people, you know, on these podcast episodes, I mean, they have set like life goals and an age and they've accomplished them. I mean, do you have anything like that? Or are you kind of more, we'll see how life unfolds?
I have not written it down. I just kind of go with the flow, what happens. I mean, I don't really see myself living anywhere else. The only other places I love are like New York, LA, Miami, you know, warm. But no, I love Washington, D.C. And I mean, maybe 5 years, I'll be in my 30s. So maybe I'll be married or at least dating someone. I could see that being the only really big life change.
Oh, I've gone out on a date.
I'll be a reporter or anchor somewhere. So still doing news for sure.
Girl, the future is so big for you. It's amazing. You have done so much already. So it's so terrific. And I love your honesty and your humor and wearing your heart on your sleeve. So this was so fun. Tell people where they can follow you. And then do you have a set weekly hours? I guess 9:30. When can we watch you too every day?
Yes, please tune in Monday through Friday. I come on at 4, 5, and 6 on Fox 5. And you can find me at the Sierra Fox on Twitter, Instagram, and I have Facebook.
Love it. Sierra, thank you so much. That was great.
Thank you. Air hug, Sarah.
Air hug.